Hello and welcome to another race of the top 8 of Metroid Prime Randomizer 2021 tournament. So we've got Mind Truth Wave Buster as our speed. That sounds like a good start. Wave Buster is always something we enjoy. How are you all doing tonight? Audio is my audio or the game's audio? Hey, Chris. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'll just turn off my headphones and turn them back on. Hang on. Okay, let me go. Races are up. Yes, like turn it up a bit. So Talon Overworld start. Oh, yeah, that actually wasn't guaranteed because they had to start, but it looks like they just got the ship. And they had 0 to 1 starting items, and they got 1. It is boost ball. Okay, both runners heading to the usual first item, and it is morph ball today, which means they can get the item behind the ship. Good times. And what's behind there? Oh, that looks good. They were missing it, but Gunner has got it now. It's Marius too. Okay, so moving along. They unfortunately cannot check Artifact Temple without missiles. Oh yeah, I'm tracking it as well, so I'll just have to add those items. I'll do my best, but do let me know if I miss things. Speaking of things that are iffy, the tracker was very iffy last night. It's likely to also be iffy tonight. So, all right, so down the elevator they go to Megmore. They have Varia, so that protects them. It may take a while for the tracker to get all these items. I think maybe I'll wait for a moment of downtime. They have only 1 tank, so they're in serious danger here. Baja already in the red zone. It's good if you're a Pokemon player right here, but not so great if you're a Metroid player. Okay, I guess, well, I mean, it's not like they can get whatever's under the tube anyway. Baja needs to be very careful here. These turrets can end you very quickly. Though, just as Varia offers heat protection, it also enhances your defense, so that will be useful to them. Maybe I'll try to track a couple more things now. And Gunert moving along, we're going to see what's in the pillar, which we do not need missiles to do. But to actually get the item is tricky without space jump. Possible, but tricky. If you want to, it helps a lot to have X-ray visor. Okay. Just adding items one at a time here as the tracker allows. And the bombs were in storage cavern. Always important to get those. Okay, so back we go. Still plenty more to get in Megmore. I didn't get... Yeah, Baja is shooting it. Yeah, it doesn't... I assume that if it were a missile, one or both of the runners would go for it, because it is quite possible to get without space jump. Okay, bombs have shown up on the left. I'll add them on the right. Gunert shooting this pillar angrily, because he cannot break it without missiles. Baja, meanwhile, climbing this room. It's very possible to get the item in Warrior Shrine now. One of the easier dashes in the game. Not only can you make it without space jump, it's... well, actually, I think that was what I was going for. You can make it without space jump. But before doing that, Baja is going to get this TTA item, which is very often important. This is sort of a hot spot. And it's space jump. Makes a big difference. And I'm afraid I was looking away. Did anyone catch where that elevator went? Heading back now. Unfortunately, Baja did go far enough away that the turrets respawned, but if he's careful, they won't be able to get a shot. Time for Warrior's Shrine now. And what do we have here? We have missiles, finally! And that's the actual launcher. The significance of it being the actual launcher is that that was the game that the missile tank that the seed expected them to get first. Very often we can get a non-first missile tank before we're intended to. But until you have the missile launcher, anything that involves missiles is technically out of logic, and it can be useful to remember that. Okay, I have a second to mark some things. Has Gunert got his space jump yet? I don't think so. Meanwhile, Baja has found the Sun Tower elevator and has decided to head back down. Possibly unfinished business back in Magmore. Oh, reflecting pool. Okay, yes. Can't do much there because he has no ice beam. Okay, Gunert about to get his space jump. Meanwhile, I'll mark his Varia suit. Well done. Now they both have space jump, and that will help them a very great deal. With no E-tanks, everything helps. Okay, it finally went through. Let's add the space jump. Okay. Leaving the suit. What suit? Okay, Gunert got missile launcher. With the basic items of morph, missiles, bombs, and space jump, Chozo is wide open once they find a way to get there. Fiery Shores. Oh, there was a suit there. Yes, well, Baja will regret not grabbing that, because not only does it add some defense, if it was Phazon, he'll need it, and if it was Gravity, he still may need it. And he does have what he needs to get it now, but the health risk is high. If you fall in the lava here, you're staying in the lava. But now he has Gravity Suit, and now Gunert does, rather. And that helps a lot, because now it's going to be much easier to get out of lava if he falls in. Okay. Gunert heading back to Talon, which is a reasonable play. Check the other elevator, get some things, maybe get his artifact hints. While Baja is going to check this elevator, which he hasn't seen yet. Or actually, Yeah, maybe he did. I forget which one of them saw this elevator. I'm juggling several tabs here, so anything that I miss, by all means, point out to me. For instance, I didn't quite catch where Baja ended up, except that he's turning around. Alright, so Gunert returning to the ship room, probably going to do his artifact checks first. Oh, I guess this elevator, I guess this reflecting pool elevator was the one he could get out of without Ice Beam, and he had just decided to do a couple of other things first. Wisely choosing to save before checking this item, because if he wants it, it is possible to get with a bomb, but quite tricky. Oh, no, actually he's just warping to start. Okay, that's fine too. Gunert checking, okay, an E-tank in crash site, which is a certainly welcome. It's the first one. The usefulness of E-tanks is sort of, it follows what we call in math a logistic function. So the first one is extremely useful, second one is moderately useful, and they just add little bits of usefulness each one after that. Different players have different comfort zones when it comes to how many tanks they want for the final boss. Personally, I'm comfortable with 6, little less so with 5, and however these top tier players who have made it to top 8 are no doubt comfortable with much less health than I am. That's okay, Neko. Thanks for the thought. Alright, so Gunert will be first to his hints. Just a missile there. Fun fact about Randovania as opposed to Bash Prime's Randomizer, the 6 hints that represent the artifacts are always the inner 6. So you don't have to be careful and okay, Hydro Access Tunnel, PVC. He's going too fast, I can't get them all, but those looked like some rich locations. Those were just rich in content. I love it. PPC isn't bad if that was PPC. Vent shaft, these are power bomb checks, but they're bound to get a power bomb eventually. Let's see. I think I saw Crossway. That they can actually get now, but in logic you require a whole lot of other things that they don't have yet. Baja might give us a better look. I don't think Captain MD is around, because if he is, he always posts the list, but anyone else who feels like posting the list of artifacts, feel free. I've got my hands full. Did you get all 6, Baja? I think you might have missed one. But again, I am dividing my attention. Gunert waiting for this guy to get in position so he can make a good dash. And makes it first try, well done. Yeah, Hydro Access, I remembered there being one really good one. Then PPC, Chapel of the Elders, Fendrana Canyon. Chapel of the Elders, so that requires Wave. Okay, so now we have them all. Yeah, Chapel of the Elders requires Wave, but that's about it. They have really very few requirements for these artifacts. So the real challenge will be solving the elevator puzzle to figure out how to get to all these places. And of course, even though they're not required for artifacts, it is always necessary to find all the beams and the Phazon suit. Gunert doing a simple out of bounds to get the item in Arbor Chamber without having Plasma Beam, but it was nothing. It was literally nothing. Always funny when that happens. Unfortunately, because of how out of bounds works, we didn't get to see the Metroid item that now represents nothing in the randomizer, but we're sure to see it again later. So Gunert can now finally get TTA, which is usually a much earlier check. I almost never leave Talon Overworld without grabbing it, because if it's Morphball, you regret leaving without it. Okay, that one goes to Fendrana. Ideally, you don't want to go to Fendrana without Plasma Beam, or at least Wave. So it looks like Gunert is going to take a different path for now. We'll see if Baja does the OOB. Looks like he will. Okay. Now is a good time for marking things that I've missed, so if I missed anything, please let me know. Well, they both have charge, of course. That's built in. So that's something I can do. Baja using bombs. You don't necessarily need bombs to do this trick, but they help a lot to get you out of trouble, if I understand correctly. Prime's at... Oh no! Is this recoverable? I don't know. Looks like it wasn't. Or at least it would have taken longer than was worth it. So Baja is resetting. Reasonable choice. That is the risk you run when you do out of bounds. It's much less recoverable in the first game than it is in the second. Seriously, if you like out of bounds, watch some Prime 2 races because they use it everywhere. Gunert reviewing the artifact hints. I forget when Baja last saved, but one useful thing is that he knows he won't have to go back to Artifact Temple because the item was only a missile tank and he knows the hints. He took long enough going through them that it's safe to assume he wrote them down, which is usually a good idea. So Gunert has returned to Magmore. We'll see where it goes from here. And Baja going back to TTA and such. Oh, because he doesn't know yet what's in Arbor Chamber. And unfortunately, he'll be disappointed when he finds out. He'll be very disappointed. As disappointed, in fact, as it is possible to be, because at least a missile tank is something. But nothing is not something. Nothing is nothing. What do? You can't make nothing out of nothing. Great big seesaw. Grab his missile tank again. Better luck this time, Baja. Meanwhile, Gunert heading this way. I don't think he was able to get the pillar before, so let's see what's in it. Oh, don't do that. Okay, he was lucky, but sometimes when you demorph before those crates are gone, you just get stuck in the ceiling and you have to morph again to fix it. It's funny when it happens, but it does cost a little time. So, Gunert continuing, he's going to take this elevator. I might have saved, but that's because I know what just happened to Baja. Gunert is still early enough in the run that he probably is not worried. Yeah. He is not pleased about this discovery, and probably already angry about what he found or didn't find in Arbor Chamber. So, yeah, not a happy camper at the moment, and I don't blame him a bit. I didn't see which Phendrana elevator it was, but if it was quarantine, then he couldn't even have gone anywhere because he doesn't have either of the beams. Oh, still a rage shooting. This might be the most continuous rage shooting I've seen. Okay, Gunert, be careful. Okay, good. Yeah, it's always better when antechamber isn't something good because partly because you don't have to do the trick, and partly because when you get the antechamber item, flying pirates show up in places that they normally don't. So it's nice not to be in that situation. Gunert using a simple trick to skip Spider and activate the beam slots, not that he can use them. And he will have to deal with this Chozo Ghost with only charge beam, not having super missiles yet. Baja, meanwhile, returning to Magmore. Hopefully he's going to get his suit this time. Early gravity always comes with that awful feeling of, this might imply frigate. Just marking Gunert's charge beam, and then I'll get Baja's new gravity suit. Stop rage shooting, man! The walls can only take so much. Gunert, meanwhile, heading for Crossway, where he can get this item, which is the artifact, as we knew. So we will get to see on Gunert's side a nifty trick for obtaining this item with only space jump. Jump to the peg, jump to the other peg. This last part is the hard part, but there are a couple of good ways to do it. Now, moving along to Furnace. Luckily, when you come in this way, you don't get the ghost fight. You only get the ghost fight if you come in through the ice door. Now let's see what's up top. I couldn't see it. We never can see it on the commentary feed, but if anyone caught it on the other feed, by all means let me know. And we can now add one artifact on Gunert's side when the tracker allows. Ice Beam in Lower Furnace. Big find. So that's our first beam. It opens an awful lot of the game. Ice is almost better than Wave. Actually, it arguably is better than Wave in random elevator runs, because so many elevator locations in the game are ice locked. Looks like Gunert will be heading for Zoid, which he can do safely because he has bombs. It is possible for bombs to be on Zoid in Randovania, which it was not in Bash's randomizer, so that's something runners have to be aware of, and several times in this tournament, in fact, we've seen bombs be there. Baja still mad. The rage, man, the rage. Gotta go see some anger management or something. So I think I can finally grant Gunert his artifact. There we go. Yes, elevators are random. And there was random start, but it didn't matter because they got ship start. And there was one random item, which in this case was Boost Ball. Always handy to have, makes the whole run go faster, and does unlock certain checks which require it. Though surprisingly many can be skipped. Everything in Prime is skippable in a surprising number of places. Baja is probably not pleased not to find something important there, because at least he would know where it was. He will be pleased to find his Ice Beam shortly, but at the moment I think he's still going a little slow because of the rage. Rage blunts your sword, as they said in Bleach. Okay, Baja also going to do the trick to skip Spider. It's amazing how much leeway that peg gives you to stand on it. Just a missile inside Zoid. So nothing too great at Zoid today, but you almost never want to skip Zoid. It's much shorter than any other boss check in the game, and you will be wondering for the rest of the game what he had if you skip him. So Gunert's going to solve this puzzle in case he needs to go back through the room later, which is, I mean, it's a reasonable choice, but personally I would only do it once I had to. Baja making short work of the Chozo Ghost. Can't do anything with those beam slots yet, but he will be able to when he comes back with Ice Beam. So Gunert solved the puzzle. That's why he solved it now, because he wants to immediately go back and do the Ice Beam check in Chozo, in Hall of the Elders. No Spider Ball, so he's just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way of literally walking up a spider track. Metroid Prime 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube, folks. There's Baja picking up his first artifact, so they're now even. Fun fact, by the way, on the tracker, I have 2 options for 7 artifacts. There are literally 2 buttons that say 7 on them. I do not know why. So Gunert will be the first to see what's in the Hall of the Elders item, as opposed to the Elder Chamber item, which is the one from the plasma slot. Okay. Baja's got his Ice Beam. And we'll see what this item is. It's never anything good. Except today! Alrighty then. Near simultaneous beams. Wave on Gunert's side, Ice on Baja's. And Baja, instead of doing Zoid first, is going to immediately go back through that check, and he'll be very happy with what he finds. So these players now both have the 2 most important beams for getting around in the game. Plasma is only required for deep mines, which may indeed be necessary, but the artifacts don't require it, and so we have some hope of not having to go there. Gunert unwittingly demonstrating what I just pointed out about the ghost fight only happening if you come in through the ice door, but we can ignore it. Okay, gunert waiting for this very slow door. Second slowest in the game, slowest is Artifact Temple. Baja morphing just slightly out of place there. And collecting his Ice Beam. Can't rage shoot at the moment because he's a ball. Just a missile expansion at the top of Gathering Hall. Let's see next what is in Watery Hall Access. Just a missile today. Baja, I think, is still mad. Stayed there morphed for a little while. Yes, Baja has indeed made good progress after the setback. So gunert is going to get this item, which will be trivial with Gravity Suit. Ah, there's a Metroid. So as promised, the nothing item now looks like a Metroid. Baja deciding he'd like these 5 missiles. Oh, wrong door. No, just going to save. And I suspect we'll see him save a little more than gunert from this point on, because he's been reminded of the importance of doing so. We'll see what gunert finds in Dynamo. He can only make one of these checks. Sadly, the top item, no matter how hard you crane your neck, you can't see it. Gunert had already fired the missile by the time he noticed that that was a missile behind the grate, so he didn't want it. And heading back around. Baja, meanwhile, had decided to warp to save. I guess he's going for Fendrana, if I remember correctly where this elevator goes. Bold move, we'll see if it pays off for him. Because gunert is heading in the direction of many much easier checks. My guess would be he feels a little behind and wants to do something different. Which is a position I've been in many times. You want to do something the opponent won't do and won't be expecting. But unfortunately, delaying the chozo checks is a play that almost never pays off. Gunert does not have gravity, but he doesn't have grapple, but he has gravity, and that's more than enough to get you across this room, especially if you have Varia to take the heat. And he can also do the dash, which is, nope, can't quite do it today. It is a very hard trick. Oh, find the spot quickly. He found the spot. Good. He's probably planning to peek the item on the way out. This one he can get, it's just missiles. This one I don't think he can get yet, no power bombs. Oh! So, yesterday in commentary, Baja was saying he didn't remember Training Chamber ever having something important. Well, today's your day, man, I'm sorry. But today Plasma is in Training Chamber, and I hope you check it in time. Gunert, of course, can't get it yet, so he's going to have to wait. Looks like a Metroid in the spider-locked spot there. I couldn't tell what was in Lighthouse. Baja's about to show us what is in the Chapel of the Elders. Ah, there's Gunert's first power bomb, and that's going to be important. I didn't see the main plaza items yet. It's hard to watch both feeds at once, but that power bomb is a very big deal. He still needs Spider, though. He needs Spider to get the... oh yeah, there was an artifact here. That's why Baja rushed this one. But he still needs Spider to get Plasma Beam, so that'll be his next priority. Gunert can check all the items here. There are 5 checks, but one of them can't be progressed, the one at the top of Tower of Missiles, as we lovingly call it. And he also has to deal with ghosts because he activated them by having the Hall of the Elders fight. Made it to that top door in record time. So we'll see what's underwater. Meanwhile, Baja dealing with this mini-boss, and does not, as we usually do, have power bombs to help. However, it's not difficult. There are many different things you can kill it with. Gunert only getting an E-Tank for his trouble here. So he still has one of those 5 checks to make, the one behind the bomb wall. I think he got a peek at the item that was at the top of the half-pipe and didn't like it. Okay, back down to the bomb wall. Let's see what's here. Whoa, main PBs. That's an excellent find. And it proved decisive in yesterday's race, which everyone should watch because that was a terrific race. You won't believe how it ends. Oh, yes, you're right. Gunert never got wave. Thank you for pointing that out. By all means, chat. Talk it up. I'm a little lonely here. Alright, so anyway, Baja returning. He has no, without infinite speed, which has to be agreed to by what we used to call gentleman's agreement, now called racer's agreement. So you can't do that without it being agreed on. So he has no way to get the item under the statue. He'll have to come back for that if it's important. What's behind the ice? I guess he knows. It was probably a missile. He probably saw it on the way in. Oh, if Gunert's coming from here, then... No, right. He must have seen what was in Vault while I was in another tab. Did anyone see what was in Vault? Missile, okay. So Baja heading for Ice Ruins. Which one is this? This is the one with 2 items, so it's east. That's how I remember it. And it looks like it was only a missile on Hive Mecha. But there were 2 items. Did anyone see what the other one was? We also have 2 items here in Ruined Gallery. Let's see what they are. One in the Morph Path. Always remember to go back for this one, kids. And it's Spider Ball. Huge, huge deal. And that's an E-Tank, also welcome. I didn't see what was atop the spider track. Baja now heading back, having his vision absolutely blinded by impact with that Sheegoth. And I guess he already saw the ice item. Sorry, a lot going on, and I can't follow it all. But the important thing is to give Gunert his Spider Ball, because that's huge. Yeah, just tell me if I miss anything that isn't a missile. Like in Ruined Nursery, for instance. I didn't see that item, but if it was just a missile, I don't care. Baja now checking Ice Ruins east. Yeah, I wouldn't bother climbing the Sheegoth now, because you're going to need to do that anyway to leave this room, and you might as well do Canyon first. Nothing's going to make that any faster to get later. Gunert wisely making the decision to immediately go back for Plasma Beam. Failing the dash again, but that's okay. It's a very hard dash. I've never done it. Just because some players make it look easy doesn't mean it is. Okay, Baja now has the second artifact. But Gunert's about to have Plasma, and he'd much rather have that. Still no super missiles, so this fight will be slightly slower than normal. But it's a fight you almost never get to see, because this item is almost never anything good. Baja seems to be getting frozen a lot today. There's more than one way up this room, but we do tend to prefer standing on a Sheegoth because it's the fastest. Ooh. Oh, I'm worried about Baja's health now. And the refills don't care. They're merciless, and they are a harsh mistress. Okay, so Baja is going to go to the backup, which is to slope jump or up this wall. Oh, I think he's forgetting he did... Oh, turning back. Gunert just picked up his Plasma Beam. Every door in the game is now open to him. Baja saw what that was, and either didn't want it or got mad. Okay. Yeah, energy is low, but this is a good place to get some back. Okay. Climbing this room. There are several good climbs. Never do this room the intended way, it's stupid. Just a missile in that spot, which I've found is a sort of a hot spot for progress, but not today. Gunert showing us the also rarely seen piston chamber. One of the more on-the-nose names in the game. Is it me, or did that missile curve a bit? Yeah, Baja is pretty invested in Fendrana at the moment, which can often pay, but today it seems unlikely. He might find something good in labs, though. There are 6 checks here, and he can get almost all of them. The one he can't is the super missile tank, and unfortunately without X-ray he can't even see what it is. Gunert, meanwhile, heading for mines. PPC, we know there's an artifact here. Baja would have to be very careful if he were the one in mines at the moment, but Gunert has picked up several extra E-tanks, and so he doesn't have to worry that much. Okay, if you're doing this, you do have to be careful. Okay, I couldn't tell what that was. It's probably a missile, it usually is. But Gunert is demonstrating that if you simply keep jumping out of the phazon, it doesn't have time to exponentially ramp up its... Oh, sorry, for a second I thought Gunert was shooting rage shots, but no, he was just looking for the platform. But yeah, anyway, if you... phazon is incredibly deadly to stand in for any length of time, but if you keep jumping out of it, you're okay. Do not try to translate this to real life. Okay, Baja moving on from the item that he can't look at yet. Still has many more checks here in labs, though. Now, by commentator's curse, or no, this isn't commentator's curse, this is just knowing stuff. We know that he won't find plasma here, but he might still find something important like super missiles. Why would super missiles be important, you ask? Because phazon suit may well be locked behind them. And you also want visors. Not for anything in the game, but for dealing with the final boss. You can beat him without visors, but you really want to have them. Yeah, that's typically what we do once we have all the beams, and the only thing that we don't know for sure is where phazon is. What we do is we go for artifacts first, make the checks that are on the way, and then pursue any remaining checks once we've got all the other requirements. Gunert needs to solve vent shaft because there's an artifact here. Otherwise, we normally leave it unsolved and just suffer the poison gas each time we go through. Alright, what's in control tower, I wonder? Just a missile. By the way, it is now possible in Randomania to find shiny missiles again, so who knows, we might see one in this seed. Okay, that's another artifact for Baja, I'll mark it. He knows where phazon is. Where is it? It is possible. I mean, I didn't get a look at what was under the tube, for instance. Haha, Baja having to resort to... Well, he didn't have to, but showing off that scanning this Metroid is one way to make it break out of its tank. Meanwhile, I didn't see... Yeah, it looks like Gunert is taking a beating from the boss, so he decided not to kill it because he doesn't want whatever's under that force field. And continuing to MQA to see what's here. You can get a quick peek in the cutscene, but I sure can't because commentator feed is never good enough to tell. E-tank in reactor core. I didn't see either of the items in ether. Okay, but if it's in either underneath Warrior Shrine or plasma processing, we don't know. So it certainly could be. Baja now giving us one of the best bops in the game, the late Phendrana music. There are 6 checks to make in this area as well, counting one in transport access, which is by the elevator to Thardis. Gunert, meanwhile, making his way across this room, dealing with some Metroids. Ooh, didn't quite make that shot. Ooh, and I think it knocked into a lower mushroom. No, maybe not. Okay, Baja sees an E-tank under the ice. Probably doesn't want it. There is a save room in this far area of Phendrana, by the way, so while it was never very useful before, it is now a useful warp to save point. Gunert looking for a platform. You can also use a Metroid to dash across that pit, but you have to get it positioned right. It's a little tricky. Baja doing the grapple-less climb through this room. Takes a little patience sometimes. Gunert also looking for a platform again. Yeah, this room here, which I think is Phendrana's Edge, is one that I've fallen to the bottom of more times than I care to remember. Yeah, you need to get a little height on that stick, and then... Ooh, Baja can't make this check. Doesn't have plasma. But successfully getting to the tube at the top of the room and only getting a missile for his trouble. That's too bad. Okay, Gunner just gets a missile here. It was Phazon last night, so that was a very important check. Oh, no, it wasn't Phazon, it was Gravity Suit. But that did make a big difference on final bosses. See, while Gravity Suit does have in-game uses, one of its most important functions is as lining for your suit when you fight the final boss. It bumps up your damage reduction from 20% to 50%. That's if you have Varia, but Varia is almost never skippable. Yeah, so far all the power bombs we've seen have been in Chozo ruins. I think. Gunner dealing with this Hunter Metroid, which can really wreck your day if you let them. But successfully making it to the end of Fungal Hall A, a room with no items. Here's PMT. We'll be able to see what it is, but we won't be able to get it. Nowhere near enough E-tanks and no Phazon suit. Just a missile today. Oh, Gunner will not be able to see what's in MQB. He will be able to see what's... he'll be able to get whatever's buried in Fungal Hall B. The power bomb was cool and all, but you really just need a regular bomb for that. Okay. Gunert can cross this room without grapple beam by doing a dash. Yeah, use Spider to get up top, and then I assume there's some useful dash target around here. Better be, because without Phazon suit you can't stand on the clump of Phazon, and which is my preferred method for crossing this room, but it's not always available. What did Baja see in transport access just now? Ah, Gunner made it. Ooh, saving comes at a price. And Gunner has decided to warp to start and not fight Omega Pirate. Oh, it's not a decision at all. He doesn't have X-ray visor. And this boss is the only time in the game that that X-ray visor cheats and actually requires itself to be able to damage something invisible. Everywhere else in the game, things that are supposed to be only invisible with X-ray visor are indeed still there when you don't have it, and you can interact with them normally. But at Omega Pirate, he's a jerk. He only takes damage with the with X-ray on. Even if you're using a power bomb on him, You need to demorph and flip open your X-ray visor real fast so that he'll start taking damage from it. And yes, you can use power bombs on him. Baja making the frigate play. I don't blame him, but at this point, I think Baja has still not done those early chozo checks, and it's not going to pay off. Baja also does not have thermal, but that's okay because play this game enough times, and you know where all the thermal conduits are without having to look. Gunert is apparently just now taking this hallway into Fendrana because the ice walls were still there. Found Phazon suit? Where was it? Oh, was that in transport access? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem for Baja. Now that said, it will take Gunner a while to get there. Baja is picking up a visor here, thermal visor. Now, why is it possible for thermal visor to be there? Maybe you were intended to do frigate backwards in this seed. Or maybe thermal is optional. No, visors are always considered required for essence. Yeah, so it must be that the intended way of getting thermal was to do frigate backwards, which does not require you to shoot any conduits. The same thing as can make wave beam on frigate possible in random elevators. Baja successfully hitting that conduit from way across the room, always fun to see. And trying to peek this item. Even I got a glimpse of it there, but I couldn't tell what it was. Gunner can get this item. But aside from X-ray, I don't think it can be anything important. Just a missile. Plasma was in training chamber of all places. And that's really bad for Baja personally, because yesterday when we were doing comms, he mentioned that he never finds anything important there, so he's likely to put that check off. So Gunner doing some stuff we've already seen. Don't need to worry too much about that. But he has no choice because he's got to get this artifact. And we know there's another one in Hat, so Baja is about to get his fourth. Okay. Oh, and I should mark his thermal visor as well. Now with Boost, Baja will be able to open this gate and make the four checks in Life Grove and also see where this elevator goes. The elevators in today's seed, by the way, are checked, which means they will go to other areas. You'll never find a chozo elevator that still goes to chozo, which can be fun to try sometimes, but in general, it's kind of silly. Alright, so thermal visor, and once that goes through, I'll give Gunner his second artifact. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't see the. Oh, Baja doesn't have Spider yet. He can't do anything. I mean, he can get there. There is a trick. I'm sure he knows it. But no, also power bombs. Without power bombs, you can't even get in the door. That's rough. Oh, turning around. Guess he's decided. Oh, did he forget to check this elevator? Yeah, looks like he did. That's okay. When you come into rooms like this the wrong way, it's easy to forget some of the things that are in them. That goes to Sun Tower. Gunner about to get... Well, first he's about to get his second artifact, which the tracker ate, and then he's going to get his third, which is here in Progress Canyon. We call it Progress Canyon because it has very low requirements, and so there's very often something important there. Alright, Baja, you're back in front chozo. Time to get some stuff. deciding to take the other path first. Let's see if Gunert has any better luck with these baby she-goths. There we go. Looking down is a good way to see whether you have enough height yet or not. It's a finicky trick, though. I don't like it very much. And if I were more consistent at the slope jump, I would probably just do that all the time. Ominous music in this part of Chozo because it's Baja's first time here. So Baja about to finally get Spider Ball, which means he will have it when he first goes to Training Chamber. Won't have to turn around and come back for it. Gunert using the spider track often helps to climb the room. Nobody has super missiles yet, so Thardis' front door is inaccessible. Okay, Baja's got his spider. No sign of grapple beam yet either, at least as far as I've seen. About how far ahead is Gunert? Hard to say, because it's... Like I said, Baja said this isn't a check he makes much, where Plasma is. He will probably make it now, and once he does, he will have an artifact lead. Baja, seeing his first power bomb and not being pleased at all. We'll see if he peeks the tree as well. Nope. I actually don't know how you peek the tree, but I've heard that it is possible. Yeah, see, Baja is going to make these checks first because they're closer and they're more dense. Hard to say, but I would give Gunert probably about a 5-minute lead. Oh, Flamethrower was in Ether. Nice. Our first beam combo of the night, and it's the best one. Wait a sec, I said Ether, but Gunert was coming from Hydra. When did he get super missiles? Because he couldn't have got that item without them. Did anyone see whether or where Gunert got super missiles? Baja accidentally triggering this cutscene. It's okay, it doesn't hurt at all. Well, I mean, it physically hurts, but besides that. Getting his main PBs? Always good news. Supers were in one of the... Yeah, that does seem likely. Oh, is that where it was? Okay. Yeah, again, I didn't catch when Baja looked at that item. So... Thank you, chat, for helping me out. This is rather a lot to do at once. Okay, Baja, haha, just now getting the cutscene for entering Chozo, as happens to us in random elevators. Deciding he's going to take this one no matter where it goes. But maybe he saw the other side and remembers it. Phazon mines. Okay, so that's the elevator Gunert took to get there. I definitely don't agree with taking this elevator without checking where it goes, just because there was still stuff to do in Chozo. But it will pay off in one sense for Baja, because now that he has power bombs, he can get the artifact that he knows is here. I wonder, maybe it was just elimination. Maybe he's already seen enough elevators elsewhere to have figured out what this one had to be. And because the elevators are checked, he knows that he knew that even if he had... he knew that it... Never mind. The checked thing probably doesn't matter. Okay, Baja going ahead and climbing this room, trying to skip the fight trigger for that elite pirate. Always wise. And when you skip the fight, you also skip the ice pirates. Their AI just doesn't start. Good times. Oh, looks like Gunner does want... No, he just wanted to cross the room quickly. Okay. Gunner will be able to show us what's in Storage Cave. Baja, meanwhile, getting his final artifact here in Vent Shaft. So yeah, now it's a race. Because as soon as he has plasma, he can just hotfoot it to the final boss. Oh, no, actually, he can hotfoot it to Phazon Suit, and then to the final boss. Gunert, meanwhile, is making this loop, but he's going to wish he had checked transport access first. So we'll see if Baja decides... Yeah, he's going to have this fight. I believe the crash that used to occur in the next room if you weren't careful has actually been fixed in Randomania. So that's no longer an issue. But if you leave the drone alive, it will still be here if you decide to come through the room again the other way. And then you will have to fight it because you can't get out the door otherwise. So skipping this fight is only a good idea if you know you're only going to be going through the room one way. Baja is able to move through this maze very quickly because he has the E-tanks for it. I don't have that app people use to tell how good or bad a maze is, but honestly, I don't really care. Mazes are stupid. I'm probably wrong, but it actually looked to me like Baja took that hit on purpose to bounce himself through the last leg of the maze easily. Oh yes, warp to start is extremely powerful, but in random elevators it can be weaker, and having a ship start is it's really handy. That's why, in fact, which player is it? Robo Scout, I think, insists that when they do a ship start, nobody uses warp to start once they have all the artifacts, because that would just make it too fast. Okay, Baja is going to proceed. Oh, poor Baja. Just thinking, if he had Phazon, he'd be in such a good... Sorry, if he had Plasma, he'd be in such a good position right now, because he knows where Phazon is, which Gunert doesn't. If he had just made that... If he had just not taken this elevator... And yet he probably thinks taking this elevator paid off really well. Because after all, Phazon Suit in Randomania likes to be in lower mines. And it happened to be exactly where he needed to go to get his last two artifacts. Now, he does have to turn around at this point, because there's no way to get through most plasma doors without the plasma beam itself, and so NQA is the limit of your explorations without plasma in mines. And hopefully his next play will be the chozo checks that he missed, but even so, Gunert has now hit like item-wise go mode. He still has artifacts to collect, but he can do that pretty quickly. Okay, Gunner's heading back this way. Now, I'm not 100% sure I've correctly tracked his artifact. Oh, Baja getting the cutscene. That's okay, happens to the best of us. Oh, Gunnert's going for his hat artifact. Which I assume means that he has not yet seen either of the elevators in Great Tree Chamber. Because anytime you have a way to not go through Frigate, We typically prefer to not go through frigate. Oh, Baja. He's gonna do upper mines now. This is so sad. Adam played Despacito. So, Gunert likewise does not have his thermal yet, but he knows where the conduits are. Baja does have almost everything he needs to do upper mines comfortably, but he does not have grapple beam, which hurts a bit in this room. I'm not sure what it is that makes this room state change, but whatever it is, it's already happened, because the room now already has Metroids in it. And yet, it also has pirates. Oh, Retro, you so crazy. For quite a while, those pirates were still in stare at the wall mode, but now Baja's got their attention. Gunert must have picked up his thermal on market. Oh, Gunert can get this item if he wants. But I assume he looked at it and didn't want it because otherwise he wouldn't have left this. Or, yeah, it's also possible that he's just not stopping for any checks that he can't see. Because after all, he is in go mode, he just needs his artifacts. Okay, Silvergun thinks Gunert has 3 artifacts. We will know if he goes to Artifact Temple when the tracker still says 5, and at that point I'll give him 6. But for now, he's about to get what? The third one that I've personally seen, anyway. Baja, meanwhile, working on this climb. I've never actually done the third part myself, but I'm told that that spider track is very slippery. Okay, Gunner almost through frigate to get his... Why did I mark that artifact when he didn't actually get it yet? Okay, Gunner almost through frigate to get his well-earned artifact. No, wait, I saw Gunner in hat. I guess he turned around. Yeah, that must be it. He's deciding to go back through frigate, which doesn't make a whole whack load of sense to me, but we'll see what he's up to. Oh, and now he is getting the missile. Okay, why not? But he's continuing to reverse out of frigate. He didn't specifically go back for that. I made my coffee, and I figured at some point I would have a little downtime to pour it, but so far, this has kept me very busy. That's the sign of a good race, I suppose. So Baja is behind this wall, wants to deal with the turrets beforehand, which is always a good idea. Sadly, still does not have plasma, which is the best way to deal with them. Now he will boost through using a trick we call infinite... I guess we call that infinite boost, as opposed to infinite speed, which also involves the boost ball. We're not great at naming things in the Prime community, as you may have noticed. Gunert is warped to start, and we will see which artifacts he still needs to get. Oh. Oh. Okay, I may have missed more on the tracker than I thought, because it looks like he's heading straight for Artifact Temple. Yeah, that seems likely. Oh, that's sad for Baja, but I will... No, I won't adjust it until I see the cutscene start, because you do very occasionally. It's a rookie mistake that even the best of us make it on occasion. You do occasionally see people go here without enough artifacts. Ah, but Gunert did not, so that's 6 for him. Alright, double boss fight. Phazon Elite on Baja's side, Meta Ridley on Gunert's side. We'll see which one lasts longer. Phazon Elite has all the HP, but Meta Ridley has a crippling weakness. Just a missile on Phazon boy. Incidentally, in the normal game you need the main power bombs to open the tube that the Phazon Elite is in, but a quality of life change in Randomizer is that any power bomb will do it. Actually, a bit of trivia is that it doesn't even need to be the power bombs. If you do what you might describe as a naive randomization of the game, just moving the items around, then the Phazon Elite's tube becomes breakable when you get whatever's in Central Dynamo. It doesn't have to actually be the main power bombs. So these were things that were figured out in the early days of randomization when it was just shuffling things around. Okay, Gunert successfully burning Ridley's wings off with Boost Ball. I've often wondered if Retro noticed that in time and decided to just leave it in, or just never noticed it. Because funny ways to kill bosses are a tradition in Metroid. Down goes Ridley on Gunert's side. Baja, meanwhile, working his way through what's normally the first room with beam troopers. And the important thing in this room is to see the door lock. Oh, maybe Randovania fixed that, who knows. In past versions of the randomizer, you had to be very careful to see that door lock, because if you killed all the pirates and then saw the door lock, nothing would unlock it. You would have to reload the room. Okay, final elevator appearing on Gunert's side. Baja taking a little beating from these turrets. And also possibly forgetting he has Spider, but more likely just doing it to go fast. There's a thing you can stand on to make the jump up to that door. And we'll see what the crane reveals. And it is, oh, X-ray visor! So that's where you were hiding. Unless it's a Metroid. I couldn't quite tell. Speaking of Metroids, Gunert is doing a more traditional climb here in this room, just using the intended platforms. There are several ways to do it faster, but... Okay, so it was X-ray. Yeah, so there are faster ways to get up this room, but if you've practiced the intended method and you've got it down to a rhythm where the Metroids don't usually catch you, then that might well be preferable. Because nothing spoils a climb of this room like Jack and Jill the Metroids. Ooh, taking that platform and morph is a risky move. Quite easy to roll off, but it paid off. And Gunert is in the final boss. So, as typical of final bosses of Metroid games and games in general, our boy Metroid Prime here has two forms, one an exoskeleton and one the inner essence. The exoskeleton is, it uses your beam weapons, but in turn it's weak to those beam weapons, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Would probably have made more sense if there were like a rock, paper, scissors system, but this is easier to remember, I guess. So when whatever beam Exo is using, you use against it, just like you would against beam troopers. And in the first chamber it only uses two, power and wave. In the second chamber it adds ice to the mix. In the third chamber it adds plasma and also a tractor beam move. And in the final chamber it goes a little crazy and starts doing everything all the time. It also gains the ability to double its speed for no reason. So that chamber is always fun. There's enough RNG in it to decide a race. And then in the second half, which I'll talk about when we get there, there's even more RNG. And again, if you like that fight, watch yesterday's race because, oh man, oh man. So, not sure where Baja's going. We'll see in a moment. Meanwhile, Gunert is into the second subchamber. And taking advantage of the fact that before Prime changes colors, he's still weak for a moment. And thus you can use the previous beam to... Oh, went to Megmore. Oh. Wonder if he's... Wonder if he's going to warp to start, or if he's... No, he's going to go make the plasma processing check, I bet. Oh, this hurts to watch. Alright, looks like that's second subchamber down. The chambers, just as the number of beam phases increases, the number of the amount of HP increases as well. So Exo has 2 units worth, so to speak, of HP in the first room, 3 in the second, and 4 in each of the last 2. This tractor beam is fun because Exo is really just lining himself up for you to get good shots. If you're close enough and he pulls hard enough, then he can sometimes draw you in for contact damage, but typically it's a move that's more useful to you than him. Here come the missiles. You do want to take those out. Oh, it's just now occurring to me I should switch audio. Hang on. Come on, come on. SpeedGaming is, as I think I mentioned, a little slow. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we didn't want to miss out on the Exo music. It's a banger. Alright. So, Ice Beam does extra damage to Prime. Little known fact. So, anytime he goes ice, you have you can do a little more damage to him than normal. Unfortunately, without Ice Spreader, we don't have that easy shortcut to doing even more damage. And unfortunately, super missiles do not always work. Such is life. Yeah, they just ting off sometimes. But I suppose the final boss is just as entitled to dodge as you are. It's a pity there are no invincible parts of Samus that you can bring to block shots with. Okay, looks like there are 2 phases to go in this final subchamber. I think the missiles went out of bounds, but they're still there. Yep. I understand that's something you have to be really careful about in low percent when you don't have charge beam, and so this fight goes on forever. Okay. Ice missiles this time. Hey, Samus is supposed to be the one with ice missiles. I call hacks. There we go. And this is excellent, because if gunert lands this shot, it'll do a lot of damage on the next phase. Looks like you got it. Good job. And a super missile to finish the job. He doesn't care if these hit him because it'll happen during the cutscene. So, down we go. It used to be dangerous to skip this next cutscene, but I believe that's been fixed in the current Rando version. Thank you, Toaster Party. I believe that was your doing. If not, it was Ulti Naruto's doing, so thanks to him. They're both amazing. They do great stuff. So, here's the Essence fight, and I promised we would talk about it. So, the deal with this is Essence has a script of attacks, and in the first phase, there's nothing you can do to speed it up. He's just going to make his attacks, and you just have to wait him out. After that, he starts laying phazon pools. That's what you need to damage him with. And once you have this ability to damage him, if you can find him, which you can't without a visor, unfortunately. But gunert managed it. Scan visor does give you a target to help you see him a little. But yeah, anyway, anytime Prime is starting an attack, if you hit him with something that does damage, it makes him abort the attack and move to the next one in his script. And because all the attacks are scripted, this makes the next phazon pool come faster. This is a tactic that is called attack cancels, and it's much, much easier when you can actually see the stupid idiot. There he is. Something I just learned yesterday is that when Essence goes thermal, he likes to pop up behind you. So that's where to look for him when he goes to a thermal phase. So we're seeing some lovely attack cancels on Gunert's side. But I guess Gunert must have been worried about the amount of pool he had left, because he went to full pump and dump mode before the next pool was laid. Okay, Baja warping to start, sadly still not in possession of Plasma. Oh, he does have power bombs, though. I should give him those. Alright, this should be the last pool for... yeah, it will be, because these are fission Metroids. As soon as you see them, you know you can just dump the pool, and it's all over. But it helps if you can see the guy. Yeah, sound effects only go so far, so this pool was not quite enough. Have to wait for the next one. And this script does take a while to go through. Almost, though. There it is. Kill the fissions. And kill the essence. Alright, GG to Gunert. I'm just going to check something. I wonder if one of these 7 buttons is the one that marks having all the artifacts. Nope, it just makes it 7. Let's see what happens if I use the other 7. No, that makes it 8. I don't get this tracker at all. Okay, so Gunert is finished. Baja has seen it, and I don't actually have the race time room up yet, so I'll check whether... Okay, let's see. And they should be joining us in chat any minute. But again, we're relying on SpeedGaming's bot to take care of that for us. Okay, so Baja has forfeited. Alright, let me... they're not showing up yet, so I'm going to send the invites manually, see how that goes. Okay, let's see. Invite to... There, that should do. And invite Gunert. Conveniently, they're both TOs, so... or no, they're tournament players, so they're listed in the tournament category in the Prime Discord server, is what I mean.
Hello.
Hello, congratulations.
He's Baja.
Baja, you there?
Oh, yeah, hello. Yeah, push to talk.
Hello.
Push to talk is the thing. Hello.
GG's.
That was a terrific race. Well done, both of you.
Oh my gosh.
This one was...
That was... You ever, like, dig a hole and then, like, dig a little more and then dig a little more?
We wept for you, man.
Oh my goodness. This was so big on the fake outs. I cannot believe it. There were like 4 different situations, right, where the game gave you 2 choices, both of which were pretty valid, but only one like led to the next correct one.
Training chamber. Oh boy, I wasn't going there for a long time. I was gonna do... Yeah. I was heading for supers, gonna fight Thardus and Hydra, and after that I was really running out of ideas.
Yeah, that's what's so funny. Just yesterday, you and I were talking on comms about how Training Chamber never has anything. Okay. And so as soon as I saw Plasma on Gunert's side in Training Chamber, I knew, oh man, this is going to be bad for Baja.
Yeah.
So, funny thing, and I know I said this exact same thing during my last race, but in the practice seed, and I'm pretty sure the stream saw this, Plasma Beam was in that same spot.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you know, probably a good idea to check this. Because it happened to be on my mind. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to check it, because I can, without much difficulty. And lo and behold, Plasma on Training Chamber. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, gotta find my spider ball.
Well, tell me something. You nearly died on the way across Magma Pool. If you had died, would you have gone back there?
Oh, I wasn't worried.
Okay.
Like I could have survived for another 15 seconds-ish.
Okay.
Without much risk. Like, if I had gone below an E-tank, then I might have been a little worried, but that was fine.
Okay. But supposing you had, would that have turned you off that check or not?
I'm trying to remember what I got around then. So that would have been... I would have had to go back before I got my Ice and Wave Beam. In that case, I might have just done the Phendrana play, because I don't think there was anything between Wave Beam and finding Plasma Beam that would have made me want to go back there.
Yeah.
So, probably not in that particular case.
But as you say, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no, I wasn't worried at all, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the thing that really made this, though, was my decision to stick with Chozo just all the way through. Because, again, there were, like, three different choices, I can't talk. There were 3 different points in which the game was like, hey, you can totally just do this right now if you want.
Yeah.
You should go this way. And I'm like, no, we're just going to stay in Chozo. And it worked out beautifully.
Yep, I had the exact opposite approach. I completely blundered and forgot that you can just like get into Chozo without any beams from the back. And I was like also pretty confident that it was vanilla ice beam, but I went in there with 2 missiles and one of them just like bounced off the missile door.
Oh,
and so I quit out of there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you want to aim for the center, otherwise something about the collision fails and the missile just bounces.
Right. I wondered why you did that. I didn't notice your missile count. That explains things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had forgotten about the blue door in Elder Chamber because like you're in there and you only look at the 2 white ones ever. Yeah, that was bad. And then at that point, I was like, well, I'm way behind. The smart thing to do would be to stay in Chozo. So that's probably what gunert did. So I'm going to do something completely different. And
I had a feeling. I thought that might be your thought process.
Yeah, so as soon as I got wave, I save warped and went to Shorelines and just full cleared Phendrana. Found next to nothing except at least the info for the Phazon suit.
Yeah.
No, that is 100% a valid situation. It's just in this case, it happened to be that Chozo just was the correct play for all of the above.
I couldn't believe I didn't find a single power bomb in Phendrana though. That was unbelievable. I like ended up having. Yeah, I had had to clear Chozo, and I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I should never be in Chozo. Like, if anything's in Chozo, I lose. But I was like, I have to search here for a power bomb.
The one thing you had going for you was that you had a really big artifact lead. So if you had found Plasma Beam, then you knew right where Phazon suit was, so you could have just gone straight there and then straight to the finals.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, other than choosing to stay in Chozo, most of my other routing was pretty messy. So if things had been a little different, you would have been way ahead for multiple reasons.
Yeah, for instance, one risk gunert took was not checking what Omega Pirate had or the item passed him. And if that is the item passed, yes, you did check that, but you didn't know what OP himself had, and that, if it had been important, would have cost a lot.
Yeah, the Lord's Mind play was a bit sketch, I'll admit. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I believe statistically Phazon suit is more likely to be there than anywhere else. So I was
that's what I've heard.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I don't have my X-ray, but I need to go to Vent Shaft anyways, right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was something that didn't occur to me until, like, I was in the middle of talking about it, but yes, you couldn't have killed OP.
Yeah, no, I didn't have X-ray. But I was like, you know what, it worked out last time, and then the race before, it mattered, so I'm just going to do it now. It's gonna suck if nothing's there, but I can at least save work back to the ship and get to Phendrana immediately. So, like, it was a big time waste, but it worked reasonably well, so I don't feel the worst about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you're right. If OP had Phazon suit, that would have been real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky to spot that Phazon suit before stepping into mines, so I knew I was never ever going to set foot in lower mines.
Yeah.
So I just had to scan MQA, see that it had some orange in it, and then leave because orange is bad.
Did either of you notice, by the way, that this seat expected you to do reverse frigate to get thermal visor?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that thermal.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I feel like I've said it all that needs to be said.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, well, tough race. I'm sure you both could use like supper or something now. So thank you all for racing. Thank you all in chat for watching. Follow our racers. Follow me because I'm both the commentators and the trackers today. I had a great time doing this though, so no complaints.
Yeah, shout outs to
And
Zeke.
Yeah, it's a hard job doing track and then solo comms at the same time. So yeah, thanks for volunteering.
Hard but fun. And so everybody join the Discord. We have a lot of fun. And keep watching this tournament. I don't know, actually, let me check real quick before I let you go when the next match is. Oh, actually, it is not scheduled yet. So, yeah, just keep watching the skies, I guess. And we will see you next mission.
Yeah, GG's Gunner. Good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, you as well, GG's.